Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Do make sure that you are subscribed and also do like the video. So listen, you guys, episode 2 of The Beauty and the Best is interesting, okay, because it does feel like it dives into the involvement deeper in the whole situation. That this is where we get, to hear from her father, from her mom, who doesn't really say a lot, okay. I'm not even sure if Nandipha's mom is well, but I mean, who would be surprised by it if she's not? Because this has been a lot with her daughter ending up being part of this story. Now, you guys, finishing episode 2, I felt like it's almost like they're trying to be like, listen, you guys, hold on. Don't forget that there are possibilities that Nandipha could have been a victim of Thabo Bester herself, that she might not have, or for so good in the future. How is the story going to be? Maybe she just thought she met Indota in prison, that eventually was going to come out and they were going to live happily ever after. But how big the story was going to be and how much she was risking, honestly, she might not have been aware of that, and she might have been manipulated to go into it. Okay, listen, you guys. It's very hard for me to think of Nandipha Makudumana as any kind of victim, okay? They even play voice recordings on this episode where they are trying to sort of give us a picture of how manipulative Thabo Bester was, okay? I listened to the recordings, okay? And there are two journalists that are part of a documentary that listen to the recordings as well. And after they listen to the recordings, their reaction is shock, and they are more like, you know what? We understand how people could be manipulated by this guy. This guy is a psychopath. He was really good at manipulating people. So I guess we get how and why people were manipulated. I don't know, you guys. I listened to those recordings and I was like, if I knew that a guy was in prison for R and M, okay, there's nothing that a person is going to be able to send on a voice note that is going to convince me to let them pick up my children from school. There's just nothing like that, okay? There is nothing that comes from a guy that is convicted of multiple R's and M, that is going to there's nothing in the voice note that he can say that will convince me to give him control over my companies that I have worked very, very hard to build. Okay, so I just kind of feel like, over and above the manipulation, which I don't think that is convincing for me, it was greed. I do think that Nandipha was greedy. Nandipha was already doing very, very well in her career. Okay, she was making money and she was about to make more from what was happening on social media, because she was getting to a point where everybody was knowing everything about her. She was getting TV and radio interviews. She was about to make more money. I feel like the greed, over and above the manipulation that they're talking about, the greed got Nandipha where she is right now. And let me tell you that Nandipha is still as greedy today as she was back then. Because there is this article on Drum where they are talking about how Nandipha Makudumana was paid to participate in this documentary. The very same documentary that later on she went to court to try and stop from being released. So the production had paid her to say, listen, we need some archives from you that we want to use in this documentary. When the documentary is ready to be released, then she goes to court to stop the very same documentary. But you were already paid to participate in it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, isn't that great? So when they offered her the money, she took the money, but she was like, I'm still going to try and stop this documentary, even though I took the money. Because we all know that even if they ended up stopping or successfully stopping the documentary from being released, she will still not return that money. So I feel like even now, with Nandipha Makudumana being behind bars, she is still as greedy as she was back then. Now, you guys, this is what the just part of an article says. It says, court hears Dr. Nandipha Makudumana was paid for Netflix documentary she wanted to block from airing. Okay. Makutumana and Bester initiated legal petition to prevent Netflix from releasing the documentary. However, their attempts didn't go in their favor. Advocate Sambega Dugaitobi told the court on Thursday, 11th of September, that Dr. Nandipha Makutumana was compensated for giving them access to her archives, which are utilized in the Beauty and the Bester documentary that she tried to stop from airing. It is obviously a factor that Netflix has made commercial investment in the production of a documentary, and that it has done so with the knowledge and participation of Dr. Nandipha Makutumana. She was paid for the use of the archives. It is therefore unacceptable for her at the last minute to turn around, said Nzukaitobi. Okay, I hope I'm pronouncing the surname right. Okay. The advocate further stated that it would be shocking if the court prohibited Netflix from airing something that is already widely known. Okay, the documentary Beauty and the Bester primarily builds on previously disclosed information. It collates the present material that has been long in the public domain through investigative journalism, court proceedings, parliamentary debates, and work of correctional oversight bodies and social media, he argued. In response to the claims that Bester and Makutumana were not given the opportunity to respond to the documentary, Toby stated that Bester had no right to be given that chance. Remember, Bester is a prisoner, convicted prisoner at that, okay? While Makutumana had been given the option to respond and had expressed interest before withdrawing, okay? He has no right to do so in the South African law, he said. Bester said that Netflix had used crafty and manipulative editing techniques in the documentary in his request to stop its broadcast. The two have maintained that there is a slanderous content in the documentary and it violates their constitutional rights. Tabo's attorney Courage Morero argued that the court should permanently prohibit Netflix from advertising, publishing, and streaming the documentary without Tabo's permission. However, the verdict came out today, Friday, 8:30 September 12, 2025. The judge ruled in favor of Netflix and the documentary has aired as per Netflix's intention. Makutumana and Bester are awaiting the appearance at the Bloemfontein High Court next week on a Friday, the 19th, 2025, on several charges, including their apprehension in Tanzania in 2023 following the string of crimes they've committed. This, for me, you guys, really goes back to showing how greedy Nandipha was. Nandipha will be doing very well right now outside of prison had she not gotten entangled in this Thabo Bester situation. But I feel like the love of money is what got her where she got. Thabo might have been really good at manipulating her because obviously he was able to gain access to her companies, her money. At some point, it sounds like he was the one that was making decisions on what was happening in Nandipha Makutumana's clinic. He was even fetching her kids from school, okay? But I do feel like from her side, it's not that everything she did because she was manipulated. I feel like the greed also got her where she is right now. I'm still at the point where I'm trying to understand how a dad, like a father, would make a decision to help these criminals. Okay, your daughter's already involved with the criminal. How, as a father, do you get to a point where you are part of that scheme, you guys? I still don't understand, okay, because they are mostly talking about Nandipha's involvement. So I'm still not understanding the father. I'm waiting for an explanation as to why the father thought it was a good idea to get involved in this game. It does not make sense, okay? Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure that you like it, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers in Tanda Kako.